Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key 8 entitled Apocalypse, Unveiling the Illusion. Well, what is concretely apocalypse? This is a word which is a little bit normally badly perceived and which is quite negative. Basically, etymologically speaking, in Greek, it just means revelation. Okay, concretely, it is unveiling the illusion. This is what Hindus call Maya. Maya, singular, despite the fact it includes a lot of things. So, what are the different veils that we're going to try to unveil? Well, apocalypse, concretely, this is most of the time associated to Christianism, which is a matter of fact, and announcing the end of the times. Actually, it's not exactly that. It's more normally the end of a cycle. Because, you know, if the number of this key is 8, is because this is the symbol of infinity, right? But vertically. So, actually, this apocalypse is present in Christianity. It is also present in Judaism. This is what we call Armageddon. And this is also present in Islam. It is called Dajjal. Hindus call it Kali Yuga. Okay? Yuga, concretely, is a cycle. A period of time linked to the astronomy, concretely the rotation of the planets and the solar system and so on. So basically what we are living currently, apparently it would be that. So anyway, apocalypse, the revelation is a part of the inner travel. Concretely, this is the fact to realize with real eyes the real lies in a certain extent. You know, when I say illusion, we can see and perceive here in the language of bird, which is the green language. This is the mystical language. In all languages, we can decipher different sounds for the same meaning. Okay, it's like good night. You can hear good night, bye bye, good sleep, and also good night, like with your sword. Okay, for example, I can play also with my sword is my only peaceful sword to battle and so on. You see what I mean? So concretely, in the illusion we have ill, because like sickness, and you know this is Krishnamurti, a great philosopher, part of Theosophy. Who said the following, and it was in 60s, showing that what we are living now is not, let's say, the situation is not necessarily fashion or, let's say, current. It's quite for a long time, more than half century, and probably more than this. He said the following, something like, maybe I trick a bit the words, but the meaning is there. He said, this is not a proof to be well-tuned in a society profoundly sick. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that a lot of people don't feel very comfortable in this society. Okay, and actually it's just a question of sensitivity. It's just a question that, because this society sometimes doesn't make sense. Does it make sense for a kid? Do you feel comfortable to explain to your children the notion of injustice, wars, and let's say, lack of food and so on? No, nobody can, okay? So, but I'm not pointing out this. I'm gonna try to be pragmatical, and also because the goal is not necessarily to feel bad with that, it's just the first step of an evolution. You know, the process of healing, and even for any type of dependence, we are treated some addiction in general, and I'm a former addict, so I know a little bit. All alcoholic process, anonymous alcoholics, is this, to recognize the pathology, the problem first, then to identify where it's coming from, origins, and then to embrace it in the sense really to the desire to solve it, okay? So this is the first step, and then the second phase is necessarily to heal it, okay? So concretely, we're gonna try to see the problems, and then also to try to find some alternative and some solutions. You know, Einstein said, we cannot solve the problems with the same mind which created it. Concretely, we will have to think out of the box. And this is, for certain of us, it is scary, and for other people, it's really exciting. Because it's like when you have a white sheet, blank sheet, let's say, it is white sheet, a white template. It means from scratch, we have to rethink everything and to even to scroll all the parameters of the society. And this process is quite motivating because we can feel that probably within this life there will be a lot of changes. Well, let's try to be pragmatical and to visualize two chapters of this apocalypse. But concretely, before of that, I just want to emphasize a little bit about the notion of illusion, the Maya, the veils. Actually, we do agree first that physics, metaphysics, proved us that we just observe life through a keyhole. Okay, this is what we saw in previous videos. The fact, for example, that our current life, the modernity, let's say the materiality, is only 4% of the reality. 27% is dark matter. Okay, dark matter that you cannot see, you cannot touch, and dark energy is 69%. Okay, so Saint Thomas, believing in only what he can see, he can believe at first potentially on 4%. And even within that, actually you just can see like this because you can only see in between 400, roughly 400 and 800 Hz. These infrareds and ultraviolets you cannot see. You cannot see the waves, the FM, okay, the free waves, the MW, okay, for the radio, for the radar, for the TV, for the internet, and so on, you cannot, okay? So we are necessarily limited through our eyes. That's why it's very important to stimulate our, let's say, 5 senses, to develop the sensitivity, to develop the intuition, the sixth sense, and not necessarily to see, but to perceive more, because it's a kind of natural Wi-Fi that we will define with the notion of deep connection. Well, once again, the fact, actually, this is important to visualize the notion and to split up. Actually, there is the notion of apocalypse is through two axes and two faces of the same medal. The first one is to observe the incoherence things regarding, let's say, the world, and then actually the impact towards you, okay? Because there is a resonance and an effect, of course, but in parallel, a ripple effect. And in parallel of that, you will be another key, the key 9, which is destruction of ego and also analysis of the personality to see how you are shaped through the different environments. So we'll see this later on, to access to your true self and your real I am. So it is two things: analyze the universe, okay, the incoherence of the universe, the society, and so on, and also yourself. But you can see also the universe, like Y or U, okay, like universe, the universe within you, because there is necessarily an impact. The stock market has an impact on economy, has an impact on your personal life, is a matter of fact. So basically, if we had to resume the problem of our, let's say, system, globally speaking, is through 3 axes. No need necessarily to have a PhD of finance or of sociology or biology to understand what I'm gonna say. I give course, by the way, for MBA students, for prestigious business schools, in entrepreneurship, in finance, in different, let's say, course. And actually, I'm gonna resume very basically. So we have, let's say, this harmonious triptych, okay, 3 axes. The first one is a problem of, let's say, financial economic system. Second one is social society in general, and third, environmental ecology. The first one, economy, okay, economy and the financial system, basically, to make it short, it is based on an illusion of, let's say, consumption and also growth. And the system cannot survive without the growth. But the problem is that we aspire, apparently, as we aspire to, a sustainable society, sustainable economy, and so on. But it's a paradox, because how can you have an infinite growth in a finite world? Okay, we have finite resources. So far, we didn't find any, let's say, abundance regarding free energy and so on. So, just a matter of fact, it's factual. Once again, it's not a judgment. If China, which is the second country in the world, economically speaking, is consuming in the same way that states, knowing that states is, let's say, 4.5 times in terms of population less than China. We need roughly 4 or 5 more planets, which is not possible. And all of the countries, they have the right as well to consume like states. So what does it mean concretely? It means that this is not possible. We have to change the way of consuming less or differently. But this is a matter of fact. And actually, so this growth is artificial and is not natural, is not organic. When you observe nature, do you think this tree can reach the sky? Do you think this one? No, there is a limit. There is systematically a limit, 100 meters, maximum, I don't know, maybe 150, maximum, even not 100 meters. Do you increase your number of meals every day or every month? No. Do you enlarge your portion of food every month, like your salary and so on? No. Why the system requires that? I'm a businessman in parallel. I have 2 companies, and I'm not on the stock market, okay? But if I were on the stock market, if 1 year I'm doing a decrease, it's badly perceived, okay? The value of my company will be affected, which is not normal. Because actually, it doesn't take into account the crisis, the environment, and so on, and the health, the quality of life, and so on. So, but what I try to tell you is that even saturation, or at least flat, is the beginning of the recession, according to the system. So even that is not artificial, but at least is not natural. And in parallel of that, it is stimulated and boosted through the debt, okay? The debt, which is just a big joke, because we can think that the richest country are not in debt, but they are the most in debt. States and China at the top, they are the most in debt regarding who? Other countries. Other planets? No. So other countries. So the poor countries, yes, but the poor countries, in so-called, economically speaking, I'm talking about that, or emerging country, they're also in debt towards states and so on. So basically, to make it short, if we take all the value that we have on this world and on the market and so on, 100% is the value, the normal value. 225% is the amount of the debt. What does it mean? It means that it's equivalent that everybody on the planet earn $1,000 per month, and actually the debt of everybody and each nation would be the equivalent of $2,250. It means that's towards who? And how it is possible to reimburse this debt. So it is on the potential growth and so on. Yeah, but it's just a big joke, okay? Let's squeeze this, just to make it short. Second point, social dimension. No need to be a great sociologist, and you can just do a survey among your network and so on. It's very hard to find people saying, I love my life, I feel so happy in harmony. It's happened, but it's rare. And let's say we can consider that the majority of people, they feel incomplete. They feel, let's say, not really connected. They are missing something. This is really the principle I explained with Elif Shafak. No matter who we are, where we live, deep inside, we all feel incomplete. It's like if we have lost something and experiencing the need to find it back. What is this something? Most of us will never find it, and among those who succeed, even rarer are those who go on this quest. Concretely, what is this something? It is something transcendental. It is because we shape our mind regarding what is good, what is bad, what you have to do. You have to point out if you are an artist, it's not good. At least if you are a famous artist, it's good. Footballer, same, and so on, soccer player. But if you are just a known artist or a writer and so on, is not well perceived. If you are a good architect, if you are a good scientist, if you are a good doctor, this is positive. CEO and so on, this is positive. I mean, regarding to the society and the norms that we have and that we accept or not, but at least this is the criteria of our society. And concretely, we can see, and personally, I see it a lot here. A lot of people are retired, 60 years old, quite golden people from Australia, from New Zealand, from States, Canada, and so on. And even in our retreat center, we can see some people. They have all the medals, military medals. They have an amazing career. They have a beautiful family. Everything is perfect on the theory and the paper, and they just testify that they feel missing something. They are feeling missing something. So it shows literally that's the modern society basing everything on the consumption, on, let's say, the materiality, doesn't, let's say, feed enough people, okay? Because we need more than this, okay? So this is the second statements. The third one is environment and ecology. Basically, within half century, 50 years, we humankind destroyed half of the spaces, okay, the different animals, insects, and so on. But we are living in an ecosystem. Ecosystem is the same principle that electronic device. It means that all components, even small, tiny one, has a reason for being. Is there not for fun, because it's useful for the entire mechanism and system of it. It's the same for our ecosystem. That's why Einstein said, so there is, some people say he never said that, but anyway, just on the principle, because it is true. If there is no bees anymore at the surface of the planet, life for human beings is not possible anymore, okay, because they are in charge of the pollination of the flower and so on, and there is an impact, there is a butterfly effect, okay? So small effect, big results. So it is causality, basically. So the fact we are missing 50% of the species, we can then think about the climate change, and we can think about and say, no, it's like no luck. This is just let's say something like this. No, it's not something like this. This is the consequences of our way of consuming and not respecting nature. This is something no need, once again, and this is just the basis of our foundation, intensive production. If it's not respectful for nature, shouldn't be. It's the same for one thing. I never understood the notion of organic food. Organic food is a big joke. It should be written on other products, shit. And how can we tolerate as a consumer, as let's say institution, the fact that we can pollute and propose some poison for food and also for clothes, for everything? It's a nonsense for me. And once again, no need, I just observe that since I'm a kid. And I imagine a lot of people, and this is definitely this. Apocalypse is this revelation and is a part of the awakening, because you wake up, you just open up your eyes before you are just asleep, almost you're sleeping. And we all that. So this is actually the different elements of the apocalypse. But then it's not crying and say, oh, life is shit, and to be anger and to want to destroy everything and so on. Not at all. Personally, I aspire not in the chaos. I'm not, let's say, in the collapsology, saying that is fucked up and then it's finished and so on. We only have 30 years or even less, and no. And I'm not like a climato-sceptic in the sense that, oh, no, problems, which types of problems? I'm not like this. I'm more in between. This is difficult situation, but we can do it. We can solve it. And once again, applying the notion of collective effort, individual effort, and so on. And for me, it will not come from the sky. It will not come from the government, and so on, from the top, from the head. It will be from our head, individual head, and also from the heart. I will tell you later my concern, or at least my humble feeling regarding that. But the process for me is more like, when you have world heritage, like in a neglectful, let's say, states, it's like collapsing, okay, a statue or whatever, and you just want to reinforce. You will use a laser, or you will use piece by piece, little tiny piece, and you will change, okay? And according to this process, you don't affect the stability, the global stability. You reinforce the structure of it, and it will be more, let's say, solid for the long-term run. So it doesn't mean that we need to collapse, to compensate the old problems, but at least to rethink them, either in a sense of global interests, respectful of the nature of human beings, ethics, morality, ecology, all these things. It shouldn't be good, a company doing that. It should be normal. And we should say, warning, why you do that. And if it's a trend, once again, very important, we have the credit card. We are the purchasing power individually. So if we decide to change tomorrow, we can do it. It's up to us. It's absolutely up to us. So this is really important to think about that. Then what is really interesting in this exercise is to try to visualize how to improve the system in general, to pointing out the different problems, the incoherence, and try to figure out how we could solve it. Personally, in the book, which is free access, Sage Passage, Utopia, the character decrypts a new society, new era, paradigm in the fifth dimension. It's like a fiction, but it's just describing like a new constitution he has in mind, and he explained that it is super harmonious. There is 24 different, let's say, like departments and so on, and he explained how it is organized and how they are living peacefully, harmoniously, and so on and so forth. But this exercise is really interesting to do by yourself, because this is interesting to propose, to build a notion of constructive, critical point of view and dimension. Critical means, crisis means to select. It doesn't mean necessarily negative. It can be also positive. It can be constructive, okay? And this is really a very interesting exercise. Basically, personally, I aspire to one thing important: lucidity. This lucidity, concretely, lux in Latin means the light. So lucidity means you're not Teletubbies. You're aware about the problems consciously, maturely. You're an adult. So lucidity, optimism, and pragmatism. Optimism in the sense that it is exciting, we can do it, we can change, we have this opportunity to change things, to improve things, to have a better life individually, collectively. I believe in that, yes. I'm a great dreamer, and otherwise without dreams, I would die. So optimist, but pragmatical, not only a dreamer, but also doer. And practically doesn't mean necessarily you go to the Capitol and you go to an institution and you protest, or you want to become deputy or president. No, it's just organizing yourself. We are building here a small community. It's not a sect, of course, but just with the desire to live according to our beliefs. That's to say, eco-friendly, ethical, with permaculture, with ecology, solar panels like solar heating and so on, free energy, and so on. So this is something, an aspiration, and then we will put this all information online, accessible for anybody. And I definitely think, so this community can be online as well. We are building as well a platform entitled Worldwide Human Mark, which is basically centralizing the good ideas of the planets from the past and from now. So concretely, he's highlighting the lights in general. It means the good ideas, and instead of necessarily focusing like the news, we are always focusing on the negativity. So it's normal that people are very down and low frequencies. It's good to know what is bad, but it's good also to know, because it's motivating to show that, yeah, as a matter of fact, there is a lot of problems, but in parallel of that, a lot of people are awakening, a lot of people are building new things, beautiful things, and so on. And if you see more people doing that, it creates a dynamism. And this is the reason, and also because if you see some good ideas, you could improve your own personal life. So this is the goal that we will build this year, within this year. This is a project I have in my mind for 20 years, even more. But concretely, we will do it. But we will do only also with hands. And actually, this is the point. I definitely think that this new paradigm can occur, and we can give it birth to it thanks to individuality and collectivity. It means that first introspection, work, inner work, and then also to organize as a network, small network, like a small community, and then you are connected online and so on, and you, like a benchmark, you give ideas, guidelines, and people inspire, don't necessarily take everything and swallow, they just digest, they adapt to their and actually, for me, it's through this way that we can improve things in general. Well, practically speaking, I invite you to try to visualize the things that you consider they are not coherent for this system in general: economy, administration, religious institution, whatever, but try to list it. And in parallel of that, try to find some solutions, some corrective actions, or this is the effect of resilience, for you to try to find some solution. And actually, this will be in a process, and regarding the philosophy that I love from Gandhi, who said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And Rumi said differently, when I was young, I was clever, I wanted to change the world, now I'm wise, and I changed myself. So doing for yourself and for your network, just for your, let's say, relatives, is already a lot. Well, I invite you to meditate passively, actively, intuitively on these different elements. Parallel of that, watch 3 times this video to try to rephrase, to take notes, to synthesize, and eventually to transmit to someone, because the transmission for me is the top of the knowledge, and it shows that you master what you saw, kick out what you don't like, what's not vibrating within you, and try to take what is consistent for you and brings you something. Try to share with people like this. Maybe someone will have new ideas, and combining, you will give birth to new ideas and so on. Once again, this is only one key. There is many keys and different doors up to you to open up the field of consciousness. Well, all the roads lead to Rome and to Rome. See you soon.